Star Trek's second small-screen Baron era ended on September 24th, 2017 with the arrival of Discovery. Immensely hyped as a return to Trek's prime universe following a trilogy of alternate timeline movies, Discovery has gone on to deliver 4 serialized seasons, acting initially as a prequel to the original series before transforming into a sequel set 1,000 years after Picard. But the voyage so far has been a turbulent one. While Discovery has enjoyed marginal improvements in on-screen quality, opened doors to more diverse participants, and become more accessible to new audiences, the show has irrevocably cracked the fandom. But has Discovery been a success? While its supporters will emphatically scream yes and probably block anyone who says otherwise, the data we can access would appear to indicate a very different reality. At this time, I want to make my position very clear. I don't consider myself a Discovery fan. The show, despite its improvements and standout moments of quality, has failed to live up to its predecessors, being far more focused on internal exploration than other shows and movies, which more successfully struck a balance between feelings and harder sci-fi concepts. The show had a lot going for it, with talent and budgets that far exceeded the Trek productions of old. Discovery has always looked great, but its beauty has only ever run skin deep. But do I want Discovery to fail? No. Of course not. Despite my misgivings and overall dissatisfaction, it is still a Star Trek show at the end of the day. My personal stance has always been to try and give the show a wide latitude and plenty of time to tell its stories. But unfortunately, I think that time is coming to an end. So if you've clicked on this video expecting a hate-filled rant or a celebration over the demise of a show which will undoubtedly result in the loss of work for talented people, you're in the wrong place. I'm not going to lean on impossible to prove rumours from made-up sources. I'm going to share my own observations, research, and analysis to explain why I think Star Trek Discovery's 5th season will be its last. Because, and I know I'm paraphrasing here, the first duty of every Star Trek fan is to the truth. Whether it's scientific truth, or historical truth, or personal truth. It's the guiding principle on which our fandom is based. So with that in mind, let's warp into this. Now back in the day, before the era of streaming, we would base a show's success, or lack of success, on television ratings. Ratings used to be the be-all, end-all for television business. In some sectors, wars were even fought by productions vying for dominance for their respective brands. For some today, ratings still remain a key performance indicator for success. In this new age of streaming, ratings are still a thing, kind of, but the metrics are different, as is the obligation for platforms to publicly share such data. Since its premiere back in 2017, Star Trek Discovery has aired on CBS All Access, now known as Paramount Plus, and before its shambles of a split, was shown internationally on Netflix. The show has aired on traditional television during the pandemic due to a new programming shortage, but as the aired content was really old at that point, I don't think it's an accurate indicator of interest. In short, Discovery has never had to publicly reveal its viewing numbers, so we don't have that data. So what do we do? How do we measure Discovery's success? We can't really use Rotten Tomatoes. The disparity between critic and fan reviews is alarming, but both scores can be dismissed as biased, with paid critics and angry non-viewers distorting any data from that website. The first place I'm going to look is the Internet Movie Database, more widely known as IMDb. Launched in 1990 as a fan-owned and controlled business, IMDb grew to become the place for collated reviews and information years before Rotten Tomatoes, and was eventually acquired by Amazon back in 1998. Is IMDb perfect? No, absolutely not. Much like Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, Letterboxd, or any socially driven platform, any review data can be warped by review bombing and other data distortion tactics. Quickly glancing at Discovery's review scores, I can see how the show is being downvoted by people who simply hate the show, probably even without actually watching it. But I'm not going to look at the scores themselves, no. I'm actually going to look at the total number of reviews being submitted. A surefire sign of any review bomb would be a trend distortion, an outlier. The total number of reviews should give us some sort of approximation of how much people care about a show or movie to go and leave a score in the first place. In short, I'm measuring apathy. But first we need some base data to set a benchmark, so I went to IMDb and took the total number of reviews, again, not the scores themselves, just the total number of reviews being left for every Star Trek series to date. The original series' first season average number of reviews was 3,462, its second season, 2,700 2,444, while its third and final season before cancellation generated 2,489. Right away, this data appears to correlate to the overall popularity of the content. The show's first season was generally considered its best, while its third season was considered its worst. Taking the average score for the first season and comparing the last, we can see the show's popularity dropped approximately 28%. Using the same data and rule set, The Next Generation, arguably the most popular show in franchise history, began its run with an average of 3,402 reviews. Its seventh and final season generated an average of 2,666 reviews, a drop of 22%. Deep Space Nine and Voyager, shows nowhere near as popular as TOS or TNG in terms of average reviews per season, dropped 28% and 26% respectively. Enterprise, the last show before Discovery and the first cancelled Trek show since the first, dropped 20%, the smallest drop of any show. Make of that what you will. So what of Discovery? As to be expected for a modern show, the total number of reviews is much higher. A combination of a show airing in the now and, yes, probably some review bombing likely being the reason for this. Discovery started strong, with its first season generating an all-time franchise high average season score of 4,853 reviews being left on the platform. Season 2, which saw the franchise reintroduction of Pike, Spock and the Enterprise, and a jump to the future for subsequent seasons, generated 3,443 reviews, a drop of 29% season to season. Season 3, a subtle reboot for the show and the first to be set in the 32nd century, averaged just over 3,088 to be exact, a drop of only 10%. Perhaps they'd stop the decline by doing what fans wanted in the first place, retooling the show and moving away from its original series prequel status. So what of Discovery's most recent fourth season? Over 13 episodes, the season averaged just 1,623 reviews. That's a drop of 47% compared to season 3, and a massive 67% drop compared to the show's first season. That's a cancellation level drop in viewer interest. But there's a large tardigrade in the room, however, when it comes to looking at review data on IMDb. Discovery is no longer widely available outside the United States. Sure, it's on Pluto TV, but no one has a clue what that is. While people will always find a way to watch their favourite shows, the data here must be considered dismissible at this moment in time in the interests of fairness. So let's look at something else, something that could be even more damning for Discovery. Google Trends is a free and publicly available platform that shares details on what people are searching for on Google, which is the world's biggest search engine with an estimated 5.6 billion searches in a single day. With trillions of searches at this point, it's a vast sandbox, a vital part of my day job as a director for an analytical marketing company. I love it, but I can't imagine some Discovery fans will in a couple of minutes. Here's a look at the trends data for Star Trek Discovery in the UK over the last 5 years. As expected, there was a massive surge of interest as the show premiered in 2017, but things dropped massively when the show came back for the second half of its first season. The waning of interest continued into season 2, but picked up as Burnham and crew did the unthinkable and vortexed to the future at the end of the season. Season 3 saw a marginal improvement, most likely due to the new setting and what I personally consider anyway to be a legitimate attempt to improve. Season 4, however, hasn't come anywhere near the interest level of Season 3 or any previous season for that matter. It's a shocking visual decline. Again, this is only data for the UK, and as a country that doesn't currently enjoy easy access to the show, this could easily be brushed aside as inaccurate. Okay then, let's change the country setting to only look at the United States. It's virtually identical. A massive drop in interest observed from the start of the show's run in 2017 right up to now. The whole "if you like it, don't watch it" retort has been levied at fans for years now. From the data I've observed and shared with you in this video, it appears a lot of people are doing just that. Just to clarify once more, I'm not doing this for any reason other than reporting what I've personally observed. I derive no pleasure from this, but facts are facts, and cold numbers unfortunately don't care about the shows you might like. Star Trek Discovery appears to be a dying show, something that is backed by data from multiple sources. To tell you the truth, I'm surprised the show is still being made based on this data. We will be getting a 5th season of the show, and I'll be incredibly surprised if we see the adventure continue beyond that. The original dream of Star Trek was for us to join Kirk and the crew of the Enterprise for a 5-year mission. It would appear fitting then, and highly convenient for the studio to save face and conclude Discovery at the end of its own 5th year. But what do you think? Do you think Star Trek Discovery is a dying show, destined to conclude at the end of its 5th season? Let me know your thoughts and theories below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for regular Star Trek reviews, recaps, analysis and theories. Until next time, I'm the Trek Lad, live long and prosper.